welcome back to the Double Dribble Podcast off-season recap, where we are talking about the 13th seed in the Western Conference, Portland Trailblazers.
Yes, interesting one with obviously Dame, who had a horrible season last year.
He had an abdominal injury.
But there's a new upcoming point guard for the Trailblazers, Anthony Simons, who is a free agent this year, along with Yusuf Nurkic. Nurkic is an unrestricted, and Simons is a restricted. Bird rights are $2.5 million, and Nurkic bird rights $12 million.
Yeah, so I think Blazers fans and people think that and are scared that Yusuf Nurkic may walk this off-season with the unrestricted, but the Blazers can offer whatever they want with the bird rights.
Yeah, but to what degree do they maybe not offer the kitchen sink at Yusuf Nurkic and maybe look in another direction?
Yeah, because I feel like they could get stuck because they might offer to try convince him a longer term deal, like 3 or 4 years, and then they might offer quite a bit to try get him to come back, and that's when you get the bad contracts of like $15 million for 3 years.
It's kind of, I don't know, it's the Portland way where they're just happy with where they are. They're happy with what they've got. We've seen it the whole way through this McCollum-Lillard era, where they're happy with what they have. They're not willing to make any changes. They're just going to roll with it, any massive, large changes, and they didn't make it past the conference finals. So,
but this year they did make some large changes going into rebuild mode, it looks like. So the oldest player is Eric Bledsoe, who's 33, Damian Lillard, who's 32. Then you go Josh Hart, 27, Justice Winslow, 26, and then you have all 23 years and younger.
Yeah. So it's interesting where the Blazers are, because obviously Anthony Simons, with the breakout season that he had, with Damian Lillard not necessarily being there for the whole of it, Simons really showed his worth. I didn't watch much of the Blazers, if I'm being honest. I kind of realised early they're not really going to be amazing, so I stopped watching them. But I knew Anthony Simons was performing, and I knew Dame was not. So for the Blazers, they would definitely be looking to extend Anthony Simons for maybe a 2-3 year deal. And Nurkic, they'll throw something at him. I think max 15 mil. But if Nurkic doesn't accept that, I find it hard to believe if the Blazers, especially going to rebuild, if the Blazers really accept that. I think the only reason they might is if Dame starts to say, Dame starts to have a say.
Yeah. Also, in a lot of, content and other videos I've been watching about DeAndre Ayton, a lot of people have been saying that a team that he could land on is the Portland Trailblazers. Teams like Portland, Sacramento, I think Indiana, teams like that with a lot of cap space that would be willing to throw at a good young centre. Because DeAndre Ayton he wanted to sign the Supermax extension earlier this season, but the Suns didn't agree to sign it, so he obviously thinks he's worth a lot. And
he thinks he's worth more than what the Suns are willing to give him.
And if the Blazers offer him like closer to 30 million, then the Suns just might not match it, and he could become a trailblazer, which could be interesting.
What? Dame and Ayton I think that's a pair that could, obviously, Anthony Simons to back it up, and the 7th pick. The biggest problem with that is that they have 3 contracts right now that are a bit bigger than you would have wanted. Josh Hart, 13 million, 2 years left. Damian Lillard, 45 million, 2 years fucking play options. They're not been too mad at that, because he's obviously their star. But then the big one is Eric Bledsoe, who's a guy that's running probably some minutes in the rotation and then just garbage minutes. And he's earning 19 million with 1 year left.
He was traded for a bit of cap relief when they got him, or cap relief for others, just so then he could come on for the 1 year to a team like the Trailblazers. Then for next off-season, they will have a heap of cap space. They won't have his contract, and that's $20 more million. And then there are people like Justice Winslow, whose $4 million expires.
Yeah, they have 4 free agents next season. They have 4 in 2 years' time. No.
Yeah, they have 4. 2 are restricted. So Nasir Little and Brandon Williams are restricted, and Eric Bledsoe and Justice Winslow are unrestricted.
In 2023-24 off-season.
Then the year after, they'll get off Josh Hart's contract, and Greg Brown III will be a restricted free agent.
So, there are some free agents to be moved in a couple of years.
But back to the DeAndre Ayton.
They get DeAndre Ayton. Do they just not wait for that and they, I don't know, trade maybe not a 3rd piece, but maybe like a Drew Holiday. Like, you know.
I really think that the Trailblazers will go after DeAndre Ayton.
Pardon?
I really think that the Trailblazers will go after DeAndre Ayton, because especially with a high chance that Yusuf Nurkic leaves.
Or will they just go after them with a trade package?
No, I think they'll go after him in free agency, because if they can get him without giving up anything.
Yeah. And then, as I said, I think if they do get DeAndre Ayton, then they've got Dame and Ayton. Do they try and turn Simons into the 3rd star? Or 3rd, I don't know,
I reckon with guy? This, I think you keep Anthony Simons, because him and Dame could be a dangerous offensive backcourt, and then you might make some moves to get some more defensive wings.
Yeah. Like, picture this, okay? So you've got Simons, and you're running Lillard at the 2. Obviously, positionless basketball, it won't matter too much. Just size would be the problem. So then you want, like, a bigger wing?
I'm thinking somebody kind of like...
You go.
Maybe a bit better, but like the Royce O'Neal sort of player. Some 3-and-D guys around DeAndre Ayton.
Can shoot. Obviously, that is like the crown jewel of today's NBA. If you are a big wing who can shoot.
Yeah, so say you get Royce O'Neal.
6'8" who can knock it down from 3, who plays lockdown D.
Yeah, so if you get Royce O'Neal or a player like that, say in free agency maybe, and you have a wing who can help Dame and Anthony Simons on the perimeter, and you have somebody who can hit the threes if they're helping off DeAndre Ayton or doubling Dame or
their other avenue is the draft. They have the 7th pick this season. They're projected to take Johnny Davis. He's 6'5", so probably a small forward or
he's He's like a shooting guard, small forward. He's like in between.
Yeah. So I think they'll be looking for him to be
probably a small forward.
Yeah. So they just go full small ball. But if they do get DeAndre Ayton, maybe they get a bigger power forward.
Yeah, who can? I reckon you would want a bigger power forward who's like locked down sort of everywhere, so can't mainly inside but can defend well on the perimeter.
Yeah. Because obviously if you've got
versatile
as the inside presence, who would you be looking at? A larger defensive presence at the power forward position.
Sort of like, obviously this is stupid and would never happen, but like the Giannis sort of player is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but like highly downgraded.
Yeah, like sort of skill set, but maybe with a bit better 3-point shot.
Yeah.
So you've got mainly inside, who'll stop you on the inside, but can also clamp you on the outside with a 3-point shot. So then you've got that spacing.
And that's obviously the perfect situation for them, but they might not get that. They might not get DeAndre. So
back to Johnny Davis.
They're projected to get Johnny Davis. He's 6'5", 195 pounds, shooting guard from Wisconsin. He averaged 20 points, 8 boards, 2 assists on 43% from the field and 31% from 3.
Those are great numbers. I think he was in his sophomore season, so second season.
Which, that was one of his weaknesses. So his shot selection. He's also not a great passer. He doesn't have the natural feel for the offensive side of the ball, so offensive IQ.
With the Blazers, the like you said, natural feel for the offensive side of the ball, you don't need to be as much of a offensive player.
Yeah.
Like, if you can come in and average, say, 10, 12 points, that's good enough around Dame, around Anthony Simons, and around whoever else they bring in.
Yeah, definitely. Then he struggles to finish against shot blockers, so if you've got a Robert Williams, Giannis, Draymond Green around the rim, he's not great at finishing over them, around them.
I feel like in the hypothetical that he does come to the Blazers, the two main things he would need to improve would be the passing and the shot selection.
Yeah, because if he's like, I don't know, taking the shot like too much where he isn't getting enough of the ball where he's a bit impactful, then it's like, what's even the point? Because Lillard is going to be the number one way of offense, even if Ayton comes to Portland. That's pretty much assumed. So if Johnny Davis takes that away, then that's a large scale issue for Portland if they can't. But his strengths, he's athletic, which helps. Obviously Dane's athletic, obviously Ayton's pretty athletic, so it will become pretty, and it also helps if they try and run him at small forward.
Yeah, because then if you're more athletic,
he's quicker, he might be able to jump higher, so he's kind of like an Andrew Wiggins or Jason Tatum right now. You know, like he's smaller.
Yeah.
But he can match him with speed, match him with jumping ability, and all of a sudden it's not that big of an advantage. He runs the court hard, so transition, he will, he might get a lot of his buckets in transition. I think that's how he got it in college. He ran the court hard, his point guard found him. Well, I don't know, maybe it was a Jokic. I don't follow college basketball. And so he averaged 20 points. He's aggressive. I'd say I kind of think of that as like Draymond Green. Is that what that means?
I think it's mostly like he's aggressive with his play style. Like he'll take it at you.
Yeah.
Like he'll drive aggressively. He won't kind of like Draymond.
Not afraid to get fouled. Not afraid to foul.
Yeah, not afraid. I think it's mostly not afraid like to go at you and try and get a foul.
And that represents he averaged 6 free throws per game. So he's great at drawing fouls with those 6 free throws. So that will also, there's many factors to his game that will help Portland, but there's a few factors that if they don't fix up could hurt Portland, assuming he goes to Portland. Is that?
Well, just looking for a second at the free agency sort of situations, like we were talking about a bit before. At the like some of the forwards you're looking at could include, well, you've got restricted free agent Miles Bridges.
Oh, you're not getting him, are you? Especially if you're going after 8.
But then people like, well, you've got like Chris Boucher, somebody who can shoot, I think, can't he?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know. I have not watched Raptors basketball with him on the court, especially with him taking a shot. I'd say he could take a couple every now and then, but I don't think enough to make him like a...
Around 35%, shot 38% last year.
So, yeah, he can shoot, but he's a bit big.
Here are some of the forward options, like Thaddeus Young, Torian Prince, DJ Warren, Derek Jones Jr., Marvin Bagley, Carl Anderson, PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker is somebody, that's like the sort of prototypical player I'd go for.
But, honestly, he's like 38?
Yeah.
We'll probably want to bring him back for one last run.
Yeah.
So obviously PJ Tucker, he's a great option for them. He will probably want to bring him back for one last run. Otherwise, it's about all, I don't know, the bigs they might look at. They might also look at a backup center. But I think that
they have quite a bit to do this off-season, Portland. Because they've got the DeAndre Ayton sort of option, or Miles Bridges. We didn't really talk about him, but he could be another guy. If the Hornets don't want to pay him big, the Trailblazers could try swoop in on, and then bringing back Anthony Simons.
Or they do something we didn't even expect. They trade Dame away to whoever God knows, and they just go full rebuild.
Or that.
Absolutely, because Dame's not going to stick around if they're rebuilding, especially not when he's 32.
But I think what they have to do is they have to go sort of rebuild on the fly, kind of like what the Warriors did.
Yeah.
Because you can't waste too many more years of Dame, or Dame's kind of prime, if you want to call it that.
Oh, well, I reckon Dame's out of it. I reckon he's going to be good. He's going to be an all-star.
Dame's main years, or Dame's all-star years.
Because obviously, in his prime, Dame was the second best point guard in the league, behind Steph Curry. I think that's pretty undoubted. Chris Paul, maybe, but Dame, he was very, very good. And I think his accolades don't back him up a lot.
Yeah, because he was, again, stuck behind, like, Steph and LeBron.
Like, for MVP, for championships, so...
Yeah, so I think their goal for next season would be have this double chance in the play-in tournament, be the 7 or 8 seed, and hopefully be in the playoffs, have some experience.
And bounce back with Dame and the draft picks. I think that this only basically we have 2 routes they trade Dame, they trade Dame and they go full rebuild, or they take this route,
which is like
Miles Bridges or DeAndre Ayton, and maybe
rebuild on the fly.
Rebuild on the fly, as you said.
So
that's pretty much Portland. They've got a lot of interesting things they can do. And we'll just have to wait and see, really.
So I feel like we should say, comment down below who your favourite team is, if you're watching.
Yeah. Actually, not who your favourite team is, but who you think is going to have the best bounce back.
Yes. That's a good one, because we're up to about that.
So who out of the first, 6 teams we've done?
Yeah, who out of the teams we've done are going to have the best bounce back?
If they take the right route, they will have a great, they'll have a good season next year. I think OKC could be right behind, but I think they're still a bit young.
Yeah, okay. See you next time.
Like, subscribe, maybe, if you want to, I guess. See you the next time. Bye.